Northern pasture is looking a little overgrazed. I was thinking we moved the yearlings down a little early this year.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing.
Maybe I could. Organize the drive, you know, plan the route.
Are you asking to be trail boss, Lou?
Can't really. I call it trail boss. It's just the boss of decks. Maybe we should hire a couple extra guys.
There's no time for that. It's got to be done quick. Dex is green as grass. I think I'll keep my usual role.
Right. Makes
Everything at Heartland feels calm, until one phone call changes everything. Jack is forced to walk away from the ranch at the worst possible moment. And the people he leaves behind are about to face a day they'll never forget. Jack starts his morning like any other day at Heartland, surrounded by the quiet rhythm of farm life. But that peace breaks the moment his phone rings. The voice on the other end is an old friend, someone Jack trusts, someone he cares for. And this friend is in trouble. There's no hesitation in Jack's heart. When a friend needs him, he answers. It's who he is, and it's a promise he never breaks. But leaving Heartland, even for a day, is never simple. Jack knows the ranch depends on him, and he can sense that this call will pull him away longer than he would like. Still, he makes the choice because loyalty comes before comfort. Before he goes, he gives Lou a steady look, the kind that carries both trust and weight. He tells her she'll have to take charge of the coming cattle drive. It's a big task, and they both know it. But Jack believes in her, even when she doubts herself. As Jack drives away, the ranch feels different. It's as if a piece of its foundation has shifted. Lou watches him leave, trying to stay strong, but there's a quiet worry in her eyes. She's stepping into his boots now, and those are big boots to fill. Behind her, the cattle are restless, the workers wait for direction, and dark clouds gather far off on the horizon. Everything feels uncertain. This is the moment that sets everything in motion. Jack is gone. Lou is in charge. And Heartland is about to be tested in ways none of them expected. The day hasn't even started, and already the ground beneath them is beginning to shake. The moment Jack disappears down that dusty road, Lou feels the weight of the ranch settle onto her shoulders. It's not loud, not dramatic, just a slow, heavy awareness that she is now the one everyone will look to. She tries to breathe steady, reminding herself she's done hard things before. She's run businesses, managed crisis after crisis, and stood up when nobody else could. But this, leading a full cattle drive without Jack, this is different. This is Heartland history pressing against her back. Lou gathers the crew, trying to sound confident, but her voice holds a tiny tremble she hopes no one notices. The cattle are uneasy, pacing and pushing, as if they can sense the shift in command. The team waits for her call, every rider, every ranch hand eyes steady, expecting leadership. Lou forces a calm smile, trying to summon Jack's steady grit. She gives the first orders, clear and firm, even though inside she's praying they're the right ones. As they move out, trouble appears almost instantly. A stubborn group of cattle refuses to follow the herd. One bolts toward the fence line. Another circles back, kicking up dust and tension. The sky grows darker too, clouds rolling in as if the weather itself wants to test her. Lou fights the rising panic inside her chest. She wants to call Jack, even for a second, even just to ask for a piece of advice. But she knows she can't. This is her moment to stand on her own. Still, every small mistake echoes loudly in her mind. Every slow reaction feels like a failure. A worker hesitates, unsure of her command, and Lou's heart drops. She realizes the team doesn't fully trust her, yet not like they trust Jack. And that hurts more than the chaos around her. But Lou doesn't back down. She squares her shoulders, tightens her grip on the reins, and pushes forward. She knows she can't let the crew see her fear. She has to earn their confidence one decision at a time. Even if the day is already slipping into disorder, she refuses to let it break her. Because today, she's not just Lou Fleming, she's the leader Heartland needs. Whether she feels ready or not, while Lou battles the pressure of the cattle drive. Another storm brews quietly back at Heartland. Lisa stands near the barn, smoothing her hands over the railing as if steadying herself. She's expecting someone she hasn't seen in years. When a car pulls into the driveway, Lisa's breath catches. Tammy steps out slowly, carrying the same familiar features, but older, softened, touched by time and distance. For a moment, neither sister moves. It's not anger keeping them apart, it's everything left unsaid. Their shared past hangs between them like a fragile thread. Memories of childhood laughter, difficult choices, and the quiet hurt that grew when their lives drifted in different directions. Tammy gives a small, unsure smile. Lisa answers with one of her own, but her eyes shimmer with emotion she's trying hard to hide. They walk toward each other, awkward at first, unsure what the other expects. Tammy breaks the silence with a gentle, "It's been too long." Lisa nods, her voice soft but steady. "Yes, it has." They don't rush into a hug. Instead, they stand close, searching each other's faces for clues. Is she angry? Is she hurt? Is she here for forgiveness? Or is she here because she has something to say? Inside the house, the air feels thick with history as they sit down. Tammy looks around, noticing the life Lisa has built, the warmth she's created. There's a hint of regret in her eyes, maybe for not being part of it. Lisa can sense it, but she waits. She's learned not to jump to conclusions, not to reopen old wounds unless someone is ready to clean them properly. Tammy finally begins to talk. Her voice cracks slightly as she admits she should have reached out sooner. She talks about missed birthdays, missed calls, and the quiet guilt that followed her through the years. Lisa listens carefully, her hands folded tightly in her lap. She's surprised by how much she needed to hear those words, how much she needed to know Tammy hadn't forgotten her. It's not a full reconciliation, not yet. But something important shifts between them. A small bridge forms, fragile but real. And for the first time in a long while, Lisa feels hope, not just for a reunion, but for a chance to rebuild what they once had out on the property. While the ranch moves with its usual rhythm, Amy feels something inside her slipping out of place. It isn't loud, and it isn't sudden. It's a quiet feeling, a space that wasn't there before growing between her and Nathan. She watches him from a distance as he works, noticing the small things she used to overlook, the way he avoids her eyes, the way his smile doesn't quite reach his face anymore, the way his replies are shorter, colder, quieter. It's like he's present in body, but somewhere else in spirit. Amy tries to brush it off at first. Everyone has off days. Everyone gets tired. But the feeling keeps pushing at her, tugging at her thoughts. They used to talk so easily about work, about the horses, about life. Now their conversations feel like walking on thin ice. One wrong step, and everything could crack open. She doesn't know what changed, and that uncertainty fills her with a restlessness she can't shake. She finally approaches him, hoping a simple moment together might break the tension. But when she speaks, Nathan pauses just a little too long before answering. His voice is polite, controlled, distant. Amy feels the sting immediately. It's the kind of tone people use when they're trying to hide something or when they're slowly pulling away. She tries to meet his gaze, but he turns back to his task, leaving her with a hollow feeling settling in her chest. Later, Amy walks through the barn, hoping the calm smell of hay and the soft breath of the horses will settle her mind. But it doesn't. Instead, memories of their earlier closeness wash over her, the quiet laughs, the easy trust. She wonders if she misread everything, if she missed signs that were right in front of her. The thought scares her more than she wants to admit. When Nathan finally approaches her at the end of the day, she feels a spark of hope. Maybe he's ready to talk. Maybe this distance is just a misunderstanding. But his face is troubled, and his words feel rehearsed. He says he's been dealing with things, but he doesn't say what. He doesn't open up. He doesn't let her in. And Amy realizes the truth. Whatever he's carrying alone and shutting her out in the process. Amy watches him walk away, her heart heavy. She doesn't know what he's hiding, or why he's retreating into silence. But she knows one thing for sure. Something between them is changing, and she can't fix what she can't see. For the first time, she wonders if they're drifting in different directions. And if she might lose him before she even understands why Dada as the day unfolds, the separate threads of Heartland's troubles begin pulling toward the same center, like storm clouds drifting into one sky. Lou is still fighting to keep the cattle drive under control, her voice hoarse from shouting orders, her mind racing through every possible mistake. The herd feels unpredictable, the weather keeps shifting, and the pressure of filling Jack's shoes weighs heavier with each passing hour. She tries to stay strong for the team, but deep down, she fears one wrong move could bring the whole drive crashing down. Back at the ranch, Lisa and Tammy step outside after their long, emotional talk. There's a new quiet between them, not empty, but thoughtful. Tammy watches the land, remembering everything she once shared with Lisa, everything she walked away from. Lisa senses her sister's guilt, but also her longing. It's strange how family can fracture and still feel connected, like roots buried under years of silence. As they stand together, neither says a word, but the air feels full of questions. Can they repair what broke? Is this visit a beginning or an ending? Amy returns from the barn, still carrying the weight of her strange interaction with Nathan. She tries to focus on work, but her thoughts keep circling back to him, to the way his voice trembled, to the way he looked away. Back at the ranch, Lisa and Tammy step outside after their long, emotional talk. There's a new quiet between them, not empty, but thoughtful. Tammy watches the land, remembering everything she once shared with Lisa, everything she walked away from. Lisa senses her sister's guilt, but also her longing. It's strange how family can fracture and still feel connected, like roots buried under years of silence. As they stand together, neither says a word, but the air feels full of questions. Can they repair what broke? Is this visit a beginning or an ending? Amy returns from the barn, still carrying the weight of her strange interaction with Nathan. She tries to focus on work, but her thoughts keep circling back to him, to the way his voice trembled, to the way he looked away, to the feeling that he's holding something back. She's always trusted her instincts when it comes to people and horses alike, and right now those instincts are screaming that something is deeply wrong. But without answers, the worry only grows stronger. As the sun dips lower, everything intensifies. Lou faces a split-second decision when a part of the herd breaks off toward a low gully. She pushes forward, urging the team to follow, knowing hesitation could cost them more than time. Lisa, watching the horizon, can feel a storm coming not just in the sky, but in the lives around her. Tammy studies her sister's eyes and realizes Lisa carries her own burdens, ones she's never shared. Amy, standing alone beside Spartan's stall, feels a knot form in her stomach as she senses that whatever Nathan is hiding may soon come to light. And it may hurt more than she's ready for. In this single stretch of evening, every storyline brushes against the others, their emotional currents weaving together. Fear, hope, guilt, love, pressure, it all simmers beneath the quiet landscape of Heartland. No one knows what the night will bring, but each character can feel it. Something is about to shift, something important, something they can't stop, even if they tried. As darkness slides over Heartland, the entire ranch feels charged, like the air right before lightning strikes. The heat of the day fades, but the tension only grows stronger. Lou and the cattle drive crew push through the last stretch of daylight, their bodies exhausted, their nerves shot. The herd has finally settled, but the sense of safety is too thin. Lou keeps replaying every decision she made, questioning if she guided them well enough, if Jack would be proud or disappointed. She doesn't say a word of this out loud, but the weight sits heavy on her chest as night wraps around them. Back home, Lisa lights a small lamp in the living room as Tammy stands near the window, staring out into the dark fields. Their earlier conversation still lingers between them. Tammy breaks the silence first, admitting she came because she felt something shifting in herself, something telling her it was time to reconnect before it became too late. Lisa nods, touched but cautious. The truth is, she's afraid of opening the door to old wounds only to watch them tear open again. Still, she gestures for her sister to sit beside her. It's not forgiveness, not fully, but it's a step towards something better. Meanwhile, Amy can't shake the uneasy feeling crawling through her thoughts. She walks down to the outdoor corral, needing the quiet company of the horses. The night is calm, but inside her, everything is unsettled. She keeps replaying the moment Nathan pulled away, the unreadable look in his eyes, the way he almost said something but didn't. She senses that whatever he's hiding isn't small. It's something that could change them, maybe even end them. The longer she stands in the quiet, the more the worry burrows in, turning questions into fears she's not ready to face. Just when she's about to head back, she spots Nathan across the yard, standing alone, shoulders stiff, head down. The sight hits her hard. He looks like someone fighting a battle silently, one he doesn't know how to share. Amy takes a step toward him, then stops. There's a distance between them she's never felt before, a space filled with secrets she can't see. She whispers his name, but he doesn't turn. And that's when she knows the gap between them is no longer imagined. It's real. Across Heartland, each storyline tightens as night deepens. Lou sits by the fire with the crew, trying to steady her confidence. Lisa and Tammy talk softly, rebuilding their bond piece by fragile piece. Amy stands frozen, wondering what truth Nathan is running from. And somewhere, far from the ranch, Jack continues his journey, unaware that everything he left behind is shifting in ways he never expected. Tonight isn't loud or explosive. It's quiet. But it's the kind of quiet where futures begin to tip and hearts begin to crack open. The kind of night that sets the stage for everything that comes next. Just before dawn, when the world is still half asleep, Heartland feels like it's holding its breath. The night hasn't brought answers, only heavier questions. But every story reaches a moment when something must break, or begin to heal. And for each of them, that moment arrives with the first faint color of morning stretching across the sky. Out on the range, Lou wakes with a start. She barely slept, her mind replaying scenes from the cattle drive over and over again. But as she rises, something feels different. The chaos of the day before has settled into a calm determination. She watches the herd grazing quietly and realizes they made it through. She made it through. The doubts are still there, whispering in the back of her mind, but so is a new sense of strength. Lou understands now that leadership isn't about being perfect. It's about staying steady when everything else shakes. And as the crew gathers, she notices they're looking at her differently, with trust. Real trust. The kind she earned the hard way. Back at the ranch, Lisa and Tammy sit on the porch as the early light paints the fields in soft gold. The silence between them feels lighter now, not strained or guarded. Tammy admits she's been scared to face Lisa, scared of judgment, of rejection, of reopening old pain. Lisa listens, her heart cracking open in a gentle, unexpected way. She realizes she's been carrying her own fears too. Fear of being hurt again. Fear of trying and failing to reconnect. For the first time in years, both sisters speak honestly, without walls or disguises. And slowly, piece by piece, the distance between them begins to shrink. Amy, however, feels the morning differently. She's sitting on a hay bale, elbows on her knees, watching the sunlight spill across the yard. It should be peaceful, but inside her, everything is restless. Nathan appears from the far side of the property, looking worn and distracted. He pauses when he sees her, as if deciding whether to walk over or walk away. Amy doesn't move. She just watches him, searching his face for something, anything that might give her hope. When he finally approaches, it's with a heaviness that tells her the truth before he even speaks. Whatever is between them is about to change. He starts to talk, but the words come slowly, uncertainly. He says he's been overwhelmed, confused, pulled in too many directions. But he doesn't give details. He doesn't explain the silence or the distance or the way he's been shutting her out. Amy tries to understand, tries to meet him halfway, but she can feel they aren't standing on the same ground anymore. She nods, even as her chest tightens. She's strong, but even strength can hurt. As the sun rises fully, Heartland comes alive again, horses moving, workers calling out, the ranch waking to a new day. And within this familiar rhythm, each character stands at a turning point. Lou steps into her role with confidence she earned through trial. Lisa and Tammy rediscover the fragile threads of sisterhood. Amy faces a truth she's not ready to accept but can no longer ignore. The night changed everything. The morning begins to show how those changes will shape what comes next. As the morning brightens, Heartland feels strangely unsettled, like the ranch itself knows something important is about to shift. The sun is warm, the sky is clear, but beneath that peaceful surface, emotions are moving in quiet, powerful waves. Every character wakes with a different weight on their mind, and by midday, those feelings begin pushing toward the surface. Refusing to stay hidden any longer, Lou is checking over the horses, brushing dust from their coats, when one of the ranch hands approaches her. He thanks her not casually, not out of politeness, but with real sincerity for getting them safely through the drive. The words hit Lou harder than she expects. For a moment, she stands completely still, letting the truth sink in. She didn't just survive yesterday. She proved herself. Not to Jack, not to the crew, but to herself. The self-doubt that clung to her like a shadow begins to loosen. She realizes she can lead not by being Jack, but by being Lou. And that small shift changes everything inside her. Not far away, Lisa and Tammy walk through the old paddocks, passing spots that hold memories only they understand. There's a softness between them now, still fragile, but warmer. Tammy pauses near the fence, looking out toward the hills. She admits she had been avoiding the past because she didn't want to face the mistakes she made. Lisa listens silently, feeling the weight of the moment. For the first time in a very long while, Tammy doesn't run from her truth. She stands in it. And that honesty opens a door Lisa thought had been locked forever. They don't hug, and they don't force forgiveness. But for sisters who drifted apart, simply standing together is its own kind of miracle. Meanwhile, Amy finds herself walking toward the river, the place she always goes when she needs clarity. Spartan grazes nearby, lifting his head every now and then as if sensing her unease.